everyone. Welcome to This Day. Happy Monday to you. It is July 26th. We have one meeting to tell you about today. We have the third Architectural Control and Standards Committee meeting, and that will be in the boardroom as well as virtual. And you can always follow along with that at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. Or of course, you could attend the meeting and sit in the boardroom. All right, on our show today, we have something very exciting. I was able to go out to Green Thumb Nursery and interview Kathy Moyne, who has been on our show before. And she gives us some great ideas about sustainable gardening. We're going to have several different segments with her, and we're going to start out this one with some garden box gardening. So she'll tell us all about that. And then we visited with Annie Zipkin, one of our residents here, who has been helping many of our residents plant on their patios as well as small gardens. Of course, some of our areas in our yard are very small, and she's got some great ideas, so we catch up with her. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's take a look at our weather. We had some surprise rain this morning, a little AM showers for us. It's still doing it, so we're going to probably have that on and off through the morning hours, but we will heat up to 81, 67, and the humidity is high. Tomorrow, 85, 67, Wednesday, 86, 70, Thursday, 85, 66, and then Friday, warming to 86, 65. Our sunrise this morning was at 5:59, and our sunset will be at 7:55. Thank you, Alan, for capturing this beautiful photo. We appreciate you sending that in. And of course, if you have a photo you would like to share with us, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. We will share your photo right here on Village Television here on This Day. All right, when we come back, we will have our gardening segments, so stick around.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Well, Kathy, it is a beautiful day. Thank you so much for hosting us here at Green Thumb Nursery. Now, we're going to take a tour of the nursery outside, and we're going to start with some vegetables.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, let's go check it out.
Right now we have peppers, we have a few tomatoes, we got corn, we got beans.
Corn, corn gets pretty big.
It can, but you plant it close. So you want them close to each other so that they'll actually get full ears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can still do that. All right.
We got lettuce, and lettuce is best more in the shade.
Okay.
And then we got cucumbers, we've got a few squash, lots of herbs.
Oh, yeah. And look at everything looks so full already.
Yes, yes.
That is awesome.
Yes. So now we're going past our annual and perennial section. So these are things that will give you color seasonally. If it's an annual, then it gives you color for 6 months. So we have winter annuals or summer annuals.
Okay.
Then the perennials live year after year. So they're seasonal as well. So there'll be ones that bloom in the summer but live still in the winter, or ones that bloom in the winter and live still in the summer.
Okay.
So they're a little bit better for your money because you've got a little bit longer. And if you've got a small patio area, there's a combination of things that you can put together. So down here, I've put a little demo together to because I live in a condo as well, and so I have a patio area as well. So this is how I garden in my small space. So this is an earth box. So how this works is it's all contained, which is why I like it. And when you get the kit, it comes in a kit. Oh, and when you get the kit, you have this little bottom piece here.
Okay.
And there's, this acts like a self-watering pot. So there's a little tube, as you can see, I already filled this with soil. There's a tube that you fill it with water. There's a little overflow in the front so that you know it's full. And it leaves a little gap of air between the soil and the water so that you don't get the root rot problems.
Ah,
so that's key when you have a
Yeah.
self-watering pot, because sometimes you can overwater very easily
Okay.
with that. Also comes with a little guide to kind of give you some
That's a
tips on
great
how much
idea.
you could plant. So
Okay.
I went ahead and at least filled it up halfway to 3/4 of the way through the soil. This comes with fertilizer, also comes with Dolomite Lime. Now what Dolomite Lime does is it helps to even out the pH in the soil. Most plants want to be neutral pH, which is 7. So our water is like 9 on the alkalinity scale. So this just kind of helps to balance it out. And what's nice about this is it's all packaged to work for this container.
Okay.
And they also sell repack kits so that when you go to redo it again, you can just come down and get the repack kit, or you can make up your own. I've gotten to the point where I just buy a big container of these ingredients and then I use it that way. It's a pound, and it's a pound of fertilizer.
Right.
So this first one, we're gonna mix the dolomite down through the soil that's here. And then after this is mixed in here nice and thoroughly, we will put the fertilizer in. Now how this works is the fertilizer works for the whole growing season.
Okay.
So I do my cucumbers and tomatoes in this earth box, and my tomatoes are now 6 feet tall easily.
Wow.
So, and sometimes I have to anchor them so they don't blow over.
Right.
It's pretty crazy how well this stuff works. I wouldn't grow my tomatoes or cucumbers any other way. So now they come with, this is the fertilizer.
Now, some people don't necessarily use the first one. They might tend to use iron.
Iron.
Is that correct?
They could use iron. Iron helps to lower the pH, but the Dolomite Lime actually balances it.
Okay.
So it makes it neutral.
So you don't have to have iron. You just go with that.
Well, I would put some iron. You could. Depends
I just
on what
thought
it
when
is.
you plant things that are new, you might have to have iron because of giving it not so it doesn't go into shock.
Yeah, that is. But I have a fertilizer.
Okay.
So this fertilizer. What this does is we're going to crease a little hole, and then we're going to pour this entire thing down the center. And what this does is it gives the plant like a little reservoir of fertilizer that it can tap into.
Okay.
So then after that, and I will say one thing when you're doing this, don't forget to put the tube in before you put the soil in. It doesn't work as well. Okay,
Right.
so now I'm going to take this bag and I'm going to fill it all the way to the top.
Okay.
Now most pots, when you do a regular pot, unlike the earth box, you don't fill it all the way to the top. I'm filling it all the way to the rim, and I'll explain that later once you see me finish it off. And the fertilizer in the center, they can tap into it throughout the season. That's why it lasts through the season.
That's great.
Now when I first plant these little guys, I am going to give them a little help in the planting hole.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the fertilizer that I'm using has Mycorrhizae Fungus in it. And Mycorrhizae Fungus is what they discovered when they were in the forest industry. They were planting little seedlings, and they were noticing some seedlings were working and some seedlings weren't.
Okay.
So they went and did some investigating and found that the ones that were making it had this little fungus called Mycorrhizae Fungus.
Wow.
And there's different strains for different plants. So what this company has done is it's found all the strains that are most likely going to be used in a container or in your garden,
Okay.
and they added them to that fertilizer. So that's what's actually going to help with the transplant.
Okay.
Okay, so now as you see, I've got this, and what's nice is a 1.5 cubic foot bag fits in there.
That's the whole thing.
So you just buy the one bag and you're done. And I do like the Fox Farms. This is a really good product.
Okay.
And I've tried other soils. It seems to work best for me with this setup. Okay, so now what they have in here is called a mulch cap. And it's really not mulch, but what this...
I never even knew of.
Yes. And what this does is it holds heat in, which for tomatoes, they love to have warm feet. So, and peppers, and most of your summer veggies like to have warm feet. So there's little holes in this that line up with the tube, and then you're going to stretch it on, and that kind of helps to keep the moisture in here, plus the heat. Now, if you're in like Vegas, somewhere where it's really hot, you might want to use the white side to reflect the heat.
Good point.
Okay, so now as I put the fertilizer in the middle, I'm going to plant, I've got 2 red bells and 1 chocolate habanero.
Ooh, a chocolate
Yes,
habanero.
chocolate
That's what I should have
habanero,
planted. That is awesome.
So they're really, it's and what's interesting is by planting these together, the bell peppers pick up just a tad of heat. So I've had a few people, when I'm giving them my bell peppers, are going, is that a bell pepper? Am I tasting a little bit of heat? Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, that's
just a little
great, 'cause
bit.
they're growing right next to each
They're
other.
growing next to each other, so they do kind of. Now, where it's so hot, if the pepper wasn't so hot, you probably wouldn't even notice it. But the habanero is a hot pepper. So
That's Dave's favorite.
so I'm going to put the 2 bell peppers in the front and the habanero in the back.
I think I did mine all wrong.
No. I wouldn't
things
go
are
there.
growing, but not like
Exactly.
This is quite a setup.
And this is why I like it, because it's self-contained, and it also has wheels. It comes with wheels.
That's awesome.
So you can move it around.
What does something like this cost?
These, I believe, are $60.
60, but you get everything contained.
You get everything contained except for the soil and the plants.
Okay.
You have to plant the plants. Oh, and I was going to put the fertilizer in here. Almost forgot the fertilizer. Okay, so the fertilizer I'm using is called BioLive. And this is the one that has all the different Mycorrhizae funguses in it, which helps with transplant shock.
Okay.
And so we're just going to put a little bit at the bottom of the hole. Now, you don't want to overdo it on this stuff because it can burn. So I'm going to pull these up out of there, give them a little fertilizer on the bottom. And see, and really, guys, people think that these plants are fragile. I mean, you don't want to rip them like crazy, but you can handle them a little bit more than what most people think they can.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to rip their heads off, obviously, but, and then this one is bone meal. And bone meal gives them the calcium. Now, if you've got tomatoes, you want to make sure you give them a good handful of bone meal. What burns is the nitrogen, which is the first number in the thing. And if you get too much nitrogen, that's what causes burning. So the middle number is phosphorus, which helps with the roots and the flowers. Potassium is the last number, which helps with overall health of the plant. So one way to remember that would be up, down, all around. Up for the greening and growth, down for the roots and the flowers, all around for the overall health of the plant.
Okay.
So that's one way that you can remember. So if you're wanting to give something some growth, like for herbs, I wouldn't necessarily want to give it any nitrogen because we don't want, phosphorus, because we don't want them to flower, most herbs. Most herbs you don't want to flower, so you don't want to give them bone meal. I use another fertilizer that's just nitrogen, the first number. So if you know that, then you can, make a wise choice of your fertilizers and get the desired results that you want to get for them.
Perfect.
Okay, so now after I do this, obviously I'm going to really saturate the soil, and we also are going to fill the water, fill up the water so that it's ready to go. So there we have it.
Nice.
And like I said, these are going to get big.
Yeah, that is great.
So
what was this called again? A garden box?
This is called the earth box.
The earth box.
Earth
All right,
box.
excellent.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, thank you. That is awesome.
Are you undergoing infusion therapy? You now have a choice. Infusion for Health is a specialty infusion center that expertly cares for patients with chronic conditions. Our brand new facility in Laguna Hills takes patient care to the next level. Relax in your private suite with refreshments and on-demand entertainment. We offer 7 convenient locations. We accept Medicare, PPO, and HMO. Call today to get started.
Well, we ventured out into Laguna Woods Village and we ended up at Annie Zipkin's house. And this is Annie Zipkin, and we read about you in the Globe, so I had to come out here to kind of get an idea of what the hoopla is all about and your background with horticulture. So thank you for letting us come to your home. I appreciate it.
It's great. Thank you.
So let's talk about your history. So you're a horticulturist. How long did that take?
Well, I never did go to college, so when I found horticulture, which was by home sitting for a friend of mine who had a lot of plants. So I was there for a few months and I just loved it. I loved taking care of them, and I started making cuttings of begonias. And when I found out that I could take these plants and make more of them and more of them, I just loved it. So I found out that there was a school in New York on Long Island that had a horticulture course. I never knew about any of that. I never even had a plant growing up in Brooklyn. But I took the class, and it took me 3 years to get through a 2-year course because I didn't have the science background. So I had to take a lot of biology and chemistry and soil science, a lot of courses. And I came out of there with a degree in ornamental horticulture, studied floristry, studied landscaping. They made us study everything to get that degree. So when I got out, my ex-husband and I ran away from New York because the winters were too cold. And we ended up in New Orleans because I had some friends who lived there. And as soon as we got there, I was able to get a job as a horticulturist in a hotel.
Oh, wow.
And it was so exciting that I was able to actually get employment. And so I started working at that hotel, the Royal Orleans, for about 2 years. And then people started coming to me from the hotel. There was a pool club for locals. And they would come to me and they say, oh, I wish I could have you come to my garden and do my patio. So since I lived in the French Quarter, and the patios were small. They're kind of like what we have in our patios. So it was very manageable for me to be able to work by myself and be able to start a business. And that's what happened. And then it was all word of mouth. But I did also have an article in the local paper there once when I was running a patio tour for the patio planters, and they featured me in a little sidebar. And it was like this paper, when you could get free PR and people just start calling you, and either they want advice or they want you to do their garden or they want to show you their garden. So
That's
what
awesome.
happened. Yeah, it's really awesome. And I love what I do. I just am, it's in my blood. I totally, when I'm walking around Laguna Woods, if I see a weed, I pull it. I just can't help myself.
Well, wait, but you go even farther than that. If you see something that's maybe unsafe for others, like lots of leaves on the pathways, you pull out your blower.
Yes, I have a rechargeable blower that I chipped in with my neighbor last year because, as you see, we have beautiful, gorgeous, large trees. Well, in the fall, they drop all their leaves, except for this gorgeous magnolia here. And the mess is incredible. So we just went and got a rechargeable blower. And in an area like this, I just come out and I'll just blow the leaves away because I feel it's a danger, actually, to older people.
So now, obviously, maintenance, you know, they come around and they help clear the stuff, but they can't be here every day. So that's really awesome that you guys do that. Now, how often do you have to come out? Do you come out every day?
Well, during the time when all the leaves are dropping, it is every day. But I do come out and take care of my garden every day. I mean, that's my morning coffee. Go out, check the garden, see what needs water, see what needs picking. I do a lot of cuttings off of all my succulents. I'm constantly doing cuttings. I'm giving them away to people. It's really wonderful. I love to share.
And the succulents is really important right now because as we're heading into the summer months, it sounds as though we're going to have some real trouble with water. So drought-tolerant plants is key, and succulents really are good with that. And I know in your yard, all in your front yard, that's all you have primarily is succulents. So tell me a little bit about some of the succulents that you do have.
Well, it is amazing about succulents because there's only really 3 or 4 kinds that are very popular. But they have created amazing varieties of all those plants. So you can say, oh, that's a jade plant. But when you go to a good nursery that develops them, There's 10 different kinds of jades. There's the trailing jades, there's variegated jades, there's different kinds. So in the agaves, like this is a green agave, I have a variegated one, there's blue ones, and there's different color variegated ones. So you can take that one species of agave, which is a century plant, which is absolutely fabulous. You see it everywhere. But there's so many varieties of it, and it's such a truly centerpiece.
Yeah.
You know, the agaves, they're just beautiful.
But they can get big.
Really big.
Right.
Well, that's what you want.
So I mean, that's good for out here.
That's look how much land we have.
You do. But it's not something you probably would want to put on a patio, right? I mean, it wouldn't stay very small.
No, there are some smaller ones, but if you put things in pots, that's another thing I learned in New Orleans. So I worked in a very large hotel, a 600-room hotel in the French Quarter in New Orleans, and everything was in containers. Everything.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we had our indoor specimen plants in the lobby and all, but we had balconies and patios and pool decks, and everything was in a container. So what we did is we made automatic watering systems to them. Now, New Orleans is a whole different climate, and it's not dry. It rains a lot, but still, because we had these very, very large window boxes, I had about over 100 of them, and they would need water every day.
Right.
So, but you know, the French Quarter, you had all those window boxes with all the flowers, and it was wonderful. Yeah, it was very creative and fun.
So when you came here to Laguna Woods, you know, obviously you have all of this experience from New Orleans as well as your learning. What are some of the things that people ask you to do here?
Oh, well, most people just want prettier gardens. As the landscaping here in Laguna Woods is mostly really okay. But it is a commercial type of landscaping. So people want their own gardens. They want to make it personal, and that's really nice here. They do let us do that.
Okay.
And that's what people want. They want the plants they love. Some people want to go out and cut plants and bring in flowers. Some people just want no maintenance. Well, there's nothing really that says no maintenance. Low maintenance,
Right.
We can do low maintenance,
Right.
and that's with the succulents. And the succulents, again, come in so many varieties of colors, shapes, sizes. You can do an entire garden and have so much texture and color and all the things you're looking for when you're designing a garden.
Now, let's talk about you have a small patio and you have a very large tree that's right above it. And you've done something very creative. You've actually pulled some of the leaves over, but it's so beautiful because you have a very white wall. So tell me a little bit about your wall.
Yeah, I wanted to green up my wall. All that white, to me, white's not a color, but anyway. So I didn't want the white wall. So what I did is I'm a ceramicist. So I go to the clay studio. A lot of my pots and all that's related. When I do ceramics, it relates a lot to plants. I start making lots of pots, and that's an automatic response to the clay. But I've made some window boxes, clay window boxes that sit on top of the wall, and then I have plants that droop and drape over them. So I'm always trying to green up the walls, and then I make faces that are planters. They're half planters for the wall, and they're usually women's faces, and I plant in them, so then they come over and they also green up the wall.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank
You've done a really nice job. Now, not everybody has the walls, and maybe they have a little more space, or they want to plant something in the ground. So when someone does ask you, you know, hey, I want to have a garden that is beautiful, but is low maintenance. So do you primarily do drought tolerant plants?
Absolutely, absolutely. Unless somebody has a watering system in there, you're just not going to get enough water for flowers.
Right.
And so the succulents, I can make it beautiful. Yeah, I could take all those succulents. I'm doing a garden now that they have a patio, a very large patio, and they didn't like somebody had put blue rocks in the patio.
Okay.
And they didn't like it, so they wanted to take them out. And I said, no, let's make them disappear and get blue plants to put in the blue rocks.
Oh.
And then you won't notice that so much. So we're working on that, and they have some side gardens, and we're doing all succulents. And I went to a succulent nursery today. I was so thrilled, and they had so many beautiful plants, and I was able to buy purple ones and pink ones and green ones and yellow ones and orange. And so when I start to paint this picture and use the plants for my medium, is definitely, that's what it is. I look at something, and like an artist, I just start to form the garden.
Right.
And then finding the right plants. And sometimes you could go to a nursery and a plant can inspire you to do an entire garden, because you can go in there and say, wow, I didn't realize that plant came in that shape and form, and it's beautiful, and that's what I want.
Well, it definitely takes somebody with your passion to be able to do all of the things that you've mentioned. So I appreciate you spending time with us today.
Well, thank you so much. I really love Laguna Woods, and you asked me about when I moved here, and I felt I was retired. I have had 40 years of working really hard, getting the sun all over my face, all that. So when I came here, I just wanted my own garden. And I wasn't going to work. I said, I'm not going to do this, but it's in me. I have such a passion that I started helping my friends, because I would see their stuff and I'd go, oh, let's do this and that. And it just grew and grew, and they told their friends. And next thing you know,
She's
I'm
working
busy.
again.
Yeah, I'm working again.
Yeah, but you know what? You can't call it work because you
No.
love it so much, right?
That's right. I don't call it work. That's right.
You know, you love it so much, it's not work. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see some of your stuff.
You're welcome, Lisa. Thank you.
You're welcome. Our movie for today is The Legend of Tarzan, and you can see that today at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, and that's brought to you by Harvard Eye Associates. And it's a great day to do that because they're kind of rainy today. Let's take a look at that weather before we head out. We are looking at 81-67 today, tomorrow 85-67, Wednesday 86-70, Thursday 85-66, and Friday 86-65. And today, as I mentioned, we will have some morning showers, but should be clearing for about 81, but it will be pretty humid today. Have a great day in the village. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. We're going to have Jeff Parker on with a Laguna Woods update. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
Your body is made for work, play, and adventure. All the things that make life amazing. But when pain gets in the way, turn to Hoag Orthopedic Institute to get you back to doing the things you love. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we're experts at getting you out of pain and back to golf, running, or yoga. Whatever makes you, you.